every community has their legends, whether it's the WLNR community with 2020 to 2021 Aiden Ross before Kick, or World of Warcraft Leroy Jenkins. And in the furry community, their legends are people like Telephone. Now, today we're not going to be talking about Telephone. We're going to go to the deepest, most darkest, most nastiest part of the community. And today we're going to be talking about now look, ShadoWolffess was known for his smell and his horrific actions. Now his suit was described less as a costume and more as a amalgamations of just violated stuffed animals. It looked more or less as a fursuit and more as a quilt of some sort. A quilt that is glued together with and regular glue. ShadoWolffess was born on March 3rd, 1956 in Bloomington, Indiana. And at the time of his activities, he would be in his early to late 50s. I just want to put a broad area out there. And he would usually go to conventions without a pass, hang out in the lobbies, generally be a nuisance to con-goers and just people on the street. He would sleep around in the lobbies, just spreading all his filth. And people who witnessed him in the fursuit will describe it as a mix of just cut out plushy skin. And the smell that came from the fursuit smelled like sweat, piss, and we'll come back to how the got on the fursuit. And his now deleted Flickr, which hosted a lot of corn that he described himself, and I quote,
"The creator of this video doesn't know how to read and he reads like Kaisenet, so I'm going to read it quickly for you. I'm a 52-year-old furry bisexual male bi for fursuits and an active plushophile." Sorry, he got so many commas there. "Male I fursuit and YIF and YIF RP as fox brown and red shaggy brown body fur with black paws and feet with red toes and red claws, brown tailed and buxom female werewolf cubet." As you can see, when he wrote this, he wasn't, with all senses. I guess those aren't periods and those are commas, so you have to take a breather when you read, but this guy isn't the most intelligent, if you know what I'm talking about. Her name is Moon Shadow Luna 49, or Shadow for short. Hope to see some of you at the WebFAF ShadoWolffess. Yiffy art is my passion, and I do commissions cheap or free for comments. Pending one drawing of a real cute and yiffable female polar bear cup title is Ice to Yiff Her Would Be Heaven. Moon Shadow Luna 49 is my artist's signature name. Hotmail me about commission prices and free samples. Draw any fur or fursuits, full color artist pencil, as I am a pretty good yiffy artist. Thanks, ShadoWolffess. Hotmail.com. Rent's gonna talk about what a cub means, so have fun with the video, guys.
If you don't know, a cub animal is a baby animal, a baby animal. Let's keep reading. We gotta blur out his email at the end because we don't want people harassing him. We'll later get to his art, but the focus right now is his fursuit. There were allegations that his fursuit was made out of stuffed animals that he sexually used to gratify himself first. And when he put it on his fursuit, it was like a trophy of conquer. But like you had to get the smell to your head. Like you could imagine the smell that came with it. Imagine walking around in your own and it just smells like sweat. That's what he smelled like all day at them conventions. You guys already know, though. Some furry conventions, even though they have hygiene rules, some furries don't shower. No offense to the furries. And at one convention, there was people who actually felt physically sick just by being in his vicinity. That's how bad the smell was. Hi there. First, I'm a zoo and love my partners without question. Love large and medium dogs and calves mini ponies, pygmy goats. I prefer to be on top. Of course, a nice hard shag by a sexy beast is good too. I can't wait to tie a nice friendly male chow chow, my fave, or a Saint Bernard for mutual fun. I'm also a furry and a yeefy furry artist slash author, fursuiter, fursuit maker. My fantasy is to have a fursuit fur pile, males and females, and tape me being used like a little horny bitch I am inside. Anyone who thinks it's wrong to love animals physically is wrong. You know, they're bond with us when we become their lover as well as their master. And also, there's nothing hotter than a bitch in heat. Except maybe a male in heat. LOL. That's a way to start a fucking section. Goddamn. Now, ShadoWolffess wasn't a nasty individual physically. He was also a nasty individual sexually. He has probably multiple pictures online on his dogs, and he has a lot of quotes. That was one of the quotes I read of him proclaiming that he loved having sex with animals. He loved getting knotted by dogs. Not only is this behavior immoral, it's also illegal, and it's bannable in any self-respecting furry convention. They both got in the elevator, and he started to propose to do sexual acts with the service dog. That motherfucker nasty, oh my god. Luckily enough, the other con goer reported him to the con host, and he later on got banned, but that ban did not stop him from showing up to the con. He would often just float around and ghost the con without a pass, sleep in lobbies, and generally just spread his nasty bacterial fursuit bacteria everywhere. I have my own version, which is a non-Afro Saint Bernard, around 3 feet tall, sitting. I went to a certain shop and bought quality latex protection for her. The total cost was 18 bucks. And lubed up with some KY, it feels better than any woman I ever fucked. This explains the suit. I already told you guys. Oh my god, he's sick. We all know furries wear the suit to cosplay as their fursona, but he was living this fursona for real. When he wore the fursuit, he forced his fetish upon himself, upon other people, and he had no impulse control. I got a couple of quotes that'll show up on screen right now. I had an encounter with this guy at Anthrocon back in 2008. He actually pursued us away from the downtown convention center and through an alleyway. We tried to disengage from his attention. It took us doubling back to the con and center and forming security to get him away from us. He's clearly disturbed. He was forcing his fetishes on people. He also had an obsession with bragging about his work, especially his artwork. He said it was for cheap or for free. We'll have some of his artwork on the screen, and if you really look at his artwork, I don't know who will buy it for cheap and who would want it for free. It's really disturbing. For this last section, we want to go to probably the deepest we ever went. On this channel, we watch Pred Watch videos. We reacted to videos where they go in gruesome detail on how people got murdered, but that was other content creators. That wasn't me going into detail about Preds or murderers. This is actually probably my first detailed video on something this disturbing, so if I, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for me. We will talk about his PDF rumors. All right. To be fair with this guy, I'm not surprised that he had PDF rumors. I mean, there's this incident. I don't know the date exactly, but back in the early 2000s, there was this incident where it was rumored that he tried to solicitate alcohol for sexual favors from a minor. This is illegal in all angles, right? As a minor, you're not supposed to be drinking, and if somebody does give you a drink, they're going to prison. And then as an adult, trying to solicitate sexual favors from a minor is a whole nother ballgame. And not only that it's illegal, this behavior just fits a pattern on where he seeks out the most vulnerable in our communities, whether it's animals, plushies, or dogs, just to have gratification sexually in one way or the other. And most of those things cannot consent. This guy, he's just a pariah to the furry community. I'm not furry myself, but he is just a pariah to the furry community. I don't know if he's dead. He was like 50. It's been like 20 years since he was last seen. So it looks like the furry community recovered, but now there's other weird folks going around. And with the prevalence of the internet, some of these weird folks got fame. Let's make an unhonorable mention list. First off, Foxler. That's the only person I can remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna leave you guys with this quote by Clint Eastwood. Respect your efforts, respect yourself. Self-respect leads to self-discipline. When you have both firmly under your belt, that's real power.